I was diagnosed with PCOS in 2010.
Was diagnosed with PCOS 3 years ago.
I was diagnosed at 19.
I was diagnosed with PCOS in 2001 when I was 19 years old.
I was diagnosed with it at the age of 20.
I was diagnosed with PCOS at the age of 14.
I was diagnosed with PCOS in 2004.
I was diagnosed with PCOS at the age of 17 in September 2013.
I was diagnosed with PCOS when I was 25 years old, 15 years ago. But I believe I've been suffering since early adolescence.
I was diagnosed in 2010 at the age of 23, but I suspected I had it for about a year or two before that.
I was diagnosed with PCOS in the year 2005 at the age of 33.
I suffer from infertility, I suffer from weight loss problems, and I also have facial hair.
I suffer from weight gain, excessive hair growth, extreme pelvic pain, dark skin patches, mood swings, and infertility.
Weight gain, absence of period, skin tags, low libido, and facial hair.
Cause, which is obesity and insulin resistance. I gained about 100 pounds in about 8 months because of poor diet and insulin resistance. I also have very little facial hair and infertility.
Obesity, I suffer with high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and I've dealt with infertility.
High blood pressure, high cholesterol, too much testosterone, migraine headaches, menorrhagia, and infertility.
Affects me is depression, moodiness, the inability to lose weight, miscarriages, and not being able to sleep.
Subsequently, I have hirsutism, depression, insulin resistance, some skin-related conditions, and a naughty thyroid.
I have the excessive hair. I'm insulin resistant. I don't have normal periods, and I have cysts on my ovaries.
The infertility, the multiple cysts on my ovaries, the excessive weight gain, the facial hair, the excessive hair growth, you name it, every symptom under the sun is pretty much what I got slammed with.
Some of my symptoms were infertility. I've been trying to have a kid for over a year and a half now. Weight gain, oily hair, and acne.
The worst thing for me with PCOS is infertility. It's changed my life and it's turned my world upside down.
The worst thing about PCOS is when you're dealing with the weight issues and some of the skin issues or hair issues, especially the weight. People that don't know you're suffering just think you're heavy because you don't eat right, because you don't exercise, because you don't care, because you're lazy. And that's so far from the truth with people with PCOS. If anything, we're fighting a good fight and losing, but not giving up.
PCOS is the infertility for me. I was not able to get pregnant on my own, and my doctor told me that if I didn't go the fertility med route, that I would never be able to have kids.
The worst thing about having PCOS is having been married for 11 years and not having had a baby.
The worst thing about PCOS is that there's no cure.
Insulin resistance and weight gain to me. To me, the infertility and stuff could be helped if I didn't have a problem with it.
Done more to me than just the physical pain. It's been mentally and emotionally.
Hirsutism. I really hate it. The mood swings, but especially that not enough people understand and not enough people take the time and put in the effort to try and understand the syndrome.
From PCOS for me would be infertility because I've always wanted a kid. Ever since I was little, I thought Yay, I'm gonna grow up and I'll get to be a mommy. And it hasn't happened yet.
Knowing that my husband and I may not be able to have children.
I can't think of one positive thing about having PCOS. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy.
The positive thing with PCOS is that I have learned that I can get through anything, that I am tough, and you throw something at me, that I am going to defeat it.
But what I love about it is that it has compelled me to take the best care of myself, which I wouldn't do otherwise.
After 5 rounds of fertility meds, I did have a beautiful daughter who is now a year old.
The fact that my husband and I have been able to work on our relationship without having the added of children in, and figure out what kind of family we want to be and establish ourselves before getting our miracle baby.
I have the most amazing support group.
Don't really know if there's any good of having PCOS.
If I could say there was one good thing that's come from PCOS, it would be to know I'm not alone.
People around you find out you have PCOS, and if they have it, they join you, and they don't make you feel bad and make you feel like you have someone to talk to and someone to be there.
May not have met half you beautiful women out there that support me every day and that I try to support every day, that understand each other. This whole new world is opening up to me, and I think it's amazing.
It'd be to know what it is, because until I was diagnosed with it, I never heard of it.
I wish people with PCOS knew that they weren't alone in their struggle.
I wish people would know about PCOS is how to be more sensitive to the ones that have PCOS.
That women with PCOS are not crazy, that just because you can't see our illness doesn't mean that it's not there.
It is the most common endocrine disorder that happens. So please go get checked so we can raise the awareness about PCOS.
I want you, if you have a daughter who's young and suffering with weight loss or suffering with irregular cycles or mood swings, anything over and above normal adolescence behavior, please just, consider PCOS and that she may have it, and try and get her diagnosed as soon as possible.
I wish people know that it affects us women differently. We are not the same. We all have different side effects. Some have more, some have less symptoms. Either way, we all have PCOS.
Make people understand more about PCOS and that it's something that's real. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not real.
I wish people knew just because you don't see it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. You may be able to see the obesity and the facial hair, but you don't see any of the other symptoms most of the time. It doesn't make it any less hard for anybody, and the more time we have to spend trying to explain things to other people, the less time we have on trying to figure out what can cure or at least alleviate most of the symptoms.
It affects us mentally, physically, all of it. So just don't judge people. You don't know what they're going through.
It's common in women, more common in women than it is in the men, but men can also have or present with symptoms of PCOS, but it's not the end of the world. You can live with it. You can treat it. It's manageable, and you can live a good quality life with PCOS. And for people that already have PCOS, I want to say to you that even though there is no cure, there is hope.